Hey everyone, welcome to Aftermath Digital TV. We have our wins ready for you guys from this past week. It includes anything from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever you'd like. And Jimmy, you're starting us off.
Oh, okay. Well, usually when I hear coming up next week is a contract signing, and then we heard last week we're going to have 2 contract signings, and I went double. Because contract signings, and but this week I thought it worked because we had fireworks right out of the gate. It got me invested. I was watching. I loved what Samoa Joe was doing throughout the whole thing, and having the ladies brawl and then the gentlemen come in and do it in a different way, having Drew and Ziggler. And like we talked about last week, Ziggler versus Drew, why? At least when Ziggler sat down and spoke, I got interested in that match. He made me get interested in that matchup. So I thought this week the contract signings worked.
It was fun. It's also the characters involved. There was a good bunch of characters. Samoa Joe in the middle as a mediator was great. And I forgot, to be honest, that Dolph and Drew were former tag team champions together. So all of a sudden, when they said that, there was this history like, oh wow, okay, there's a former friendship, and I guess sometimes when you're a tag team with someone, you kind of, that question, if we faced each other one-on-one, who would win, is always there. So we're gonna find out. The only thing I didn't like was Dolph kind of, the same. I've been here for 15 years, holding it down, blah blah blah. Come on, man.
Well, he kind of has,
he has, but he says it all the time. So
it was nice. It was nice to get a hot start to Raw, and I really enjoyed that. Contrary to what happens on the internet, Dolph and Drew, 2 people who disagreed with each other, could have a conversation about how they disagreed with each other, and then respectfully enjoyed each other's opinions.
Who would have thought?
The other thing I gotta say that, like, I like the hot start to Raw. Things are bad when Samoa Joe is the voice of reason, and then I just wish that hot start would have carried through for the rest of the show. It seemed to start strong and then head straight downhill for the rest of Raw, which isn't what you want. I mean, you want to get those fans invested, but you want them invested all the way through. So it just seemed that by the end of the night, everybody had, they wasted all their energy in the first 10 minutes of the show, and then everybody was kind of pooped.
So Samoa Joe's an interesting phenomenon because as a commentator, I feel you're supposed to make it seem exciting, and he's so cool. Like, he's a cool guy, and it's great to hear. But is the one thing missing from his commentary is making it exciting,
I see that point, but at the same time, I kind of like the fact that he's different from everybody else. He's not the over-the-top, oh, what a maneuver kind of stuff.
The way my sense of humor works, I think it's almost funnier when people say things that are so casual. I think that's what makes Samoa Joe hilarious, is that he says something crazy and outlandish, and it's very casually said, like almost matter of fact, like in a conversation.
I like his vocabulary too.
Yeah, me too. I think he does a great job. And Nug, that was your win, right? That Raw immediately was able to get fans invested into the show, but I guess it simmered off a little bit.
Yeah, it just didn't carry out. But I loved it. Like, when the show started, I was like, oh, did we miss the first? Like, right? Did we miss the opening? Oh, this is the opening. Oh, man, stuff's happening and we didn't get to see it. It almost made you upset you didn't get to see the beginning of it, which made you pay attention and get invested more. I just wanted that energy through the whole show.
Yeah, that's what it was. I thought for a second I missed a little bit too.
Yeah, no, it was different. Again, sometimes different doesn't work, and sometimes different worked. And in this case, in my opinion, it worked. And one more little thing. I love the fact that Drew threw in at the end there that he's allowing Dolph to pick the stipulation to their match. Therefore, when he beats him, he will have no excuses. I like that little added touch.
Now, do you think that you like the fact that Raw started so hot out of the gate, or do you think it's tough to maintain that bar being so high throughout, a 3-hour show?
I imagine in a 3-hour show, you're going to have some ups and downs. On Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night Live's only on for an hour and a half, and they have ups and downs. Yeah. So a 3-hour live show is going to have a bunch of ups and downs. But if you open that hot, the next thing you do has to carry on the momentum. Everything has to carry on the energy and the momentum going forward. And there could be dips in the action, when you go backstage, and it was also neat to see everybody, very weirdly, I want to say, everybody lives in the same universe now. Like, people cross paths that aren't currently involved in a conflict. Everybody, people walk past Seth and Murphy, but they're not in a heated feud right now, but they were in the same place. Everybody's in the same place. And sometimes it doesn't seem that way. It seems like every little story or interaction between people takes place in their own little world, and they never see each other. So it was interesting to see the hot start and that these worlds are colliding.
Yep. And AC, your win has to deal with the 24/7 championship.
Yeah, I just love the fact that it was defended in a match. And I really wish moving forward it would be defended in matches more often. I understand the stipulation you can pin someone anywhere, and there's that element to it, but it shouldn't only be defended like that. We're not really defended because you're catching people off guard, so they're not going to have a chance to defend themselves. But a match once in a while, okay by me.
Yeah, especially if you advertise it. Coming up next, the 24/7 I-95 Gardner Expressway westbound championship is being defended. So I totally agree. It's nice change. I like you said, AC, I don't mind the other stuff as well, but give us an actual match.
Yeah, the match was really short. That was the only thing I didn't like, and it still kind of ended up in one of those surprise roll-ups anyway. So
well, that seems to be the only way the title changes hands. I think if you were going to challenge for the 24/7 title, you would somehow train to defend yourself against our schoolboy roll-up. Because that's how the title changes hands every time.
And ninjas.
The more R-Truth for me, the better. R-Truth for me just like brightens my day when I watch WWE. It just makes me I feel happy seeing him.
It's funny.
He's
so
fun.
R-Truth is not the biggest wrestler. He's like maybe 6 feet, right? But these days the wrestlers are much smaller. And there was a segment with Cedric Alexander, Ricochet, and Apollo Crews backstage, and R-Truth looked like a giant compared to those guys. So it just goes to show the ever evolving and changing stature of the wrestlers.
Okay, my win. I'm so happy that Nikki Cross will have a shot at the SmackDown title against Bayley. I loved everything Nikki Cross has done with Alexa Bliss. I think she's done a tremendous job, on the mic, with Alexa Bliss, in the ring. I don't think she's going to win this, and I know that it'll only benefit Bayley in a way, but I'm just happy for her to have the opportunity just because of how impressed I've been with her individually and in a tag team with Alexa Bliss. So that's my win. I don't have high hopes for her in the match in terms of like her coming out as a champion, but I'm excited for her to have that opportunity.
No, you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
You do. Yeah, it's true. You never know.
Yeah, but she's been very entertaining too.
Yes.
And that's the main thing. And as we've said before on this show, she can have a good showing and get over without going over, as we say. She can endear herself to the WWE universe even without winning the title. It all depends on how it turns out.
Interesting thing with Nikki Cross is that she's really loved backstage. Her personality is infectious, to say the least. And maybe that infection has kind of made its way through the writers and producers and all these people, and maybe they're going to surprise us with something special. She's becoming a fan favorite. She doesn't fit that former mold of cover models and stuff. She's a wrestler.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just win your hearts over, and who knows? It could be her time.
Anthony, I think that you said that perfectly, because I met her for maybe when you interview these WWE superstars, you have max 5 minutes. She made the loveliest impression on me. She's so sweet and so genuine and so happy. Like she's genuinely happy to talk to you. We talked about coffee, and I was like, oh my goodness, I could talk to this to this woman all day. She's so, her energy to be around is like a different kind of level. So that's also why I'm happy for her, because I just know she's like a good person.
And in time that pays dividends, I feel.
Yep.
Plus the Scottish accent doesn't hurt either.
She's the best.
Quite pleasant.
She's the best. Yeah, she's great.
She's like a Tasmanian devil when she gets going in the ring. And I like that she pulls the old Finley moves of trapping people in the apron and pounding them. Like, I love that kind of stuff because she's wild. She's not like anybody else on the roster. And I think that sets her apart. And it's been a long time since I mean, for a long time in the 90s, everybody was the same. All the people in the women's division were the same. And now it's funny that we can say all the women's division people are all very good wrestlers, which is what they have in common. They're all very similar that way, but you've got to do something with your character or your personality to set yourself apart. And I think Nikki's doing it.
Yeah.
Aftermath TV fans, let us know what your win was from the past week. Tweet us using the hashtag AskAftermath, and be sure to keep an eye out on everything coming out WWE Aftermath related on Sportsnet's YouTube page. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. We miss you guys.